What's going on, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Other Side of the Firewall podcast, where we talk about the latest and greatest in cybersecurity news, as well as we highlight those movers and shakers and glass ceiling breakers, those people of color who've made it to the other side of the proverbial firewall. My name is Ryan Williams. As always, I'm joined by Shannon Tynes.
What's up? What's up?
And not here this week is LeVon. He's out there hanging out with his family and whatnot. He'll be back next week. But this is the episode where we talk about everything but cybersecurity. So if you're tuned in for the cybersecurity stuff, definitely hit us up Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Monday, we talk about Dr. Gabriel and what she wants from the AI community to happen moving forward. Tuesday, we talk about one of the ports being attacked by a nation state and the Coast Guard actually stopping it from happening. And then Wednesday, we have a discussion where we have a guest co-host, Aisha Hollins, VCISO, where we discuss cybersecurity training and is it working? And we give some pretty good examples that you probably are doing yourself, which leads me to believe it's not working. But a really good discussion, very optimistic, and I think we fixed it. Like if someone in charge of the government listens to that episode, we fixed it. They'll be right on top of it. But this is the Friday episode where we don't talk cybersecurity unless we're studying for something. I do plan to study for something. I'm going to try to get in CHFI during my break between terms. We will see if I get there. So I got all the training material. I just got to actually sit down and study it. But I got 2 more weeks, so I got some time before the term is over. Out here grading these projects. I don't know about Shannon. You studying?
No. I got to get it into, but no, I'm not. It's just not in the cards right now.
Gotcha. No, I hear that. Like, I don't know, man. Like that test is daunting. Like I was motivated because I was getting out of work to study for it. So it's different. It's different when your employer is like, no, don't come in today. Stay for this test. Okay. Okay, I will study. But you'll get there. If anything, this might be good to take a break. Like I didn't take any breaks, and it tried to kill me. Just tried to take me out. But what have you been doing this week? What's been going on?
So I actually watched Radius after you talked about it last.
What?
Yeah, I watched it. It was not bad.
Wow. Not bad, right?
Yeah, it wasn't bad, man. I gotta pull back on the reins when I say I can't take any more movie suggestions from you. No, it wasn't bad. Like the ending.
That twist.
Yeah. Yeah. The ending. I mean, the movie came out in 2017, so it's not really any spoilers. But like, yeah, he was. I did not see that coming. Like, I thought maybe they were having an affair or something, and they didn't know. You know what I mean?
Right.
As the bits and pieces started to come back, I was like, oh man. But like at the end, when she was doing that fire and she pulled that out, I was like, uh oh. Yeah. That's nefarious. I was like,
right,
not good.
As soon as I saw that, I was like, what is happening?
Yeah, he was plotting all along, man. No, it was actually pretty good. So I recognized the main actor because he's one of the FBI agents in Blacklist, and I watched Blacklist.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I recognized him, but the female co-star, I did not recognize. But yeah, I'd seen him before plenty of times, but. No, it was interesting, man, and it was. I gotta give you a little more leeway now, you know, until you offend my sensibilities.
Right. What's crazy is YouTube recommended it to me because I watch a lot of Easter egg shows. After I watch a show or something like that, I like to dig into the Easter eggs. And for whatever reason, that popped up, and it was like things you may have seen in Radius. And I was like, "What is Radius?" So I started playing it, and I maybe got a minute into it, and I saw him walking to town, and people start dropping. I was like, "Nope, I'm watching that. Cut it off." I was like, "Let me check Rotten Tomatoes first." I checked Rotten Tomatoes. It was like 93%. I was like, "Oh, this might be something." But I would have never seen that movie if it wasn't for YouTube. Like I've never heard of it. It would have never popped up on my radar.
I got to be honest with you. Like I discovered, so I haven't been watching HBO Max lately, and I discovered that my subscription had ended because I was trying to find that movie. Because
Oh, okay.
I thought you had said HBO Max, and I just went directly to HBO Max, and I was like, why is it not coming on? You know what I mean? And
Right.
apparently, my term for HBO Max, apparently, I had like a 12-month term, maybe or something like that. I had to resubscribe. I was like, oh man, I haven't because I haven't been watching
Oh,
HBO Max.
I was gonna say if you so you wouldn't get it because you already had an account. Like maybe if you would have switched it to somebody else in your household because they're selling it for half off for like the next 6 months or whatever.
So it wasn't half; it was like 25%. So it's usually 9.99, and it was 7.99. So I still got the deal when
Oh, okay. I got you.
resubscribed. You know what I mean?
Got you.
The next 6 months, I guess because it lapsed. I don't know,
Hmm.
but
Okay.
yeah, I was looking for Radius, and I was like, oh, I was like, why is that not working? And I
Yeah.
knew I had watched it at some point, right? Because I was like, I've watched HBO Max, I've seen all this stuff. I was like, I know I have HBO Max, and I have the app downloaded. So what is going on here?
Right.
But yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. I did the same thing. I flipped through all the apps when I saw it. I was like, okay, look, who has it? So I was like, HBO doesn't have it. Netflix didn't have it. Um, where else did I go? I went somewhere else before I went to Amazon. Amazon was like, yeah, we have it with ads, or you have to pay or something like that. I was like, ads are fine.
yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. I watched it with
The
ads.
ads are fine. Yeah.
You know, I watched it with ads too. So I was like, yeah, okay. And like usually IMDb TV on Amazon does that. You know what I mean? So you watch
Gotcha.
a movie that's apparently IMDb TV, apparently. I'm like, oh, I didn't know that was a thing. But watch with ads. I'm like, I will not pay you $4 to rent
Yeah, well, I'm not getting you $4. Like, it's
it.
only gonna be like 3 ads anyway. Like, nah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm fine. But yeah, that totally surprised me. Like I didn't see that coming. I was like, man, that was a good movie. Um, definitely not what I expected. But I'm glad you liked it. See, hopefully LeVon will check it out too.
Yeah.
Like I think I had him when I when I sent the Bone Thugs and Harmony meme when he killed Uncle George. That's
Uncle
basically
Charles. Uncle
Uncle
Charles.
Charles. Uncle
Yeah,
Charles. Because it, because it's basically that's what he was doing the whole movie.
yeah, it took him a second to figure out, which I could see, right? Like you would think it's gas, like you said, you would think
Yeah,
it's gas. So he was just like, "Oh no," you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to
yeah,
bring this. I don't want to breathe this in. People are dying everywhere, you know. But yeah, it was a good movie, man. And I didn't get how she knew who he was either. Like when she went to the house and everything, I don't know if that explanation was done well enough because like she knew his name, she knew who he was,
right.
and like I was like, wait, what happened now? And I was a little distracted when I was watching it. I was kind of doing something
Yeah,
else too,
I
but
think she asked the cop because she was talking about being Jane Doe. Like she was unable to figure out who she was, and she was talking to a cop, and I think they directed her to him because they looked up his address or something like that.
you know what?
I
You're
think
right. Yeah,
I think that's how they went over it quick though.
yeah. So it was about 3 days time, I think, from when he woke up to when she discovered him. So I think his name was actually on the news too. I think because
Mhm.
of this truck, because of the accident. So you might be right on that. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
like 3 days.
something like that. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, and it wasn't far fetched the way they were reacting to him. Wasn't too far fetched, especially in this day and age. Like obviously he's nefarious, right? And then come to find out, like, no, every time you agree, like, stay away. It's like the hospital scene was tense. Like when they had to kept trying to get together. I was like, oh
Yeah, that for sure. I was like, oh no, he ain't about to make it. Like somebody's about to bite it. Y'all gonna have to run.
yeah,
But no, it was a good movie, man. And like he so it what it made me think about, right? And again, even though it's from 2017 and there's it's not really spoilers because that's 4 years, but um something you want to think about is that does your mindset like so when he figured out what he was, like he couldn't take it. You know what I mean?
right,
Like maybe that's not his true nature. Like why do that if it's not your true nature? If it's your true nature, you'd be like, okay, I want to keep doing that, and that just was not the case.
right. Yeah, that part was kind of strange to me. Because I was like, so is it because he had a different perspective of himself and people at that point?
Well, yeah, he did though. That's the thing, right? Like he
Yeah,
was trying to keep people away, but like
right.
that wasn't the case before. You know what I mean? Like he was, yeah,
Yeah. So pretty crazy. But yeah, that part did shock me. I was like, oh, okay. Um, definitely worth a free watch. Like if you have Amazon, try out the Radius. Came out in 2017. I think you'll enjoy it. Um, what else? What else you do?
That was pretty much it. Like I didn't like. I've still been playing Madden a little bit. Uh, New movies haven't really watched. Still watch the Carmichael Show. I got a couple episodes in, but for the most part, that's kind of what was new that I did. You know what I mean?
Okay,
Oh,
that's
I
what's
did
up.
watch the What If. I did watch the What If. I did watch.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah,
what did you think? What did you personally think of that episode?
I think there were others that were better. It was funny, but that's not what I want. Like I want the fight scene that happened there. That's what I want more of. You know what I mean? Because that fight scene,
Oh yeah, they were brawling.
yeah, that was off the chain. But
Yeah,
like, go ahead.
I was gonna say my favorite part is when they would be in orbit, it would show the name of the country. Like it was like a map. So I thought that was pretty clever. Obviously they had lots of cameos and all that good stuff in it, but I don't know, man. I think I was looking. Uh, the ending brought me back in because I was just like, I feel like it feels like a throwaway, and at the very end, I was like, oh,
Yeah. Just got real, right?
yeah.
Like, oh yeah.
So I was like, oh, okay, okay. But yeah, altogether, like I think they're definitely going somewhere, and I like it. So I'm gonna keep tuning in. So is that we're gonna have a break, or are we going right into the next episode?
I think we're going into the next episode. Why do you think we're having a break?
Because I somewhere that's when I saw the trailer, it was like mid-season trailer or something like that. So I was like, usually they say mid-season when there's gonna be a break.
Oh, yeah, I wasn't tracking that. I was not tracking. I know I stopped believing what IMDb said was next because this episode was
They're
supposed to come out 2 weeks
all
ago.
off.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all off. I don't know why they did they shuffle them, or is that just to keep people on their toes? I don't know.
Maybe we're in a multiverse. Like after Loki, maybe we're in a multiverse where
Yeah,
we're jumping in and out and seeing different things. Like, oh yeah, in this multiverse it happened like that. Thor was the fifth episode. It's the seventh in this one, though.
yeah. It was
I don't know.
very very lame multiverse. Very very small tweaks. but um, but yeah, I mean it was okay. Like I didn't hate it. It's just I was like when they ended it properly. I was like, oh okay, I like it. I like where this is going potentially. I don't know because they keep doing that. So I'm like, it
Yeah.
all has to fit together.
In all fairness, none of them are bad though. You know what I
No,
mean? I think it's just that like you set that bar high with the first one for me. And then the second one, I was like, oh, okay. And then like
yeah,
it's just a matter of I think I'm comparing it to itself. Well, it's like one of those things where it's like 80% of what you've already done is better than 90% of the stuff that's already out there. You know what I mean?
right,
So
right.
yeah.
Yeah, which is true. But oh man, but like the Black Panther one, like
Yeah.
not Black, the Killmonger one, like
Yeah.
they had some hits.
Yeah. 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 For sure.
But yeah, like this one and the zombie one are kind of they felt kind of throwaway. And the zombie one wasn't bad either.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just I
Yep.
don't know, but so it's weird. Like I'm not complaining. Like they're all good. Some of them were great.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Keep them coming, Marvel. Keep them coming.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, because I think it was you who said they have like 2 seasons of stuff
It's
already.
planned, yeah, but again, that's according to IMDb, right? So like, I don't know what to
Oh, right.
believe. I don't know what to believe with them. I don't know if they're gonna. I don't know if they're gonna do the first season. Let some of their movies come out because they got a decent slate coming out the end of the year, right?
Yeah.
Because Eternals, Spider Man. I'm missing a TV series. The Hawkeye series, I think, comes out in November,
Oh,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So like they got some runs to go through and then pick it up again for the second season. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. Which yeah, that's very true. And then I think like are they filming She-Hulk now or something like that? I think She-Hulk is
oh,
being filmed
I didn't know
and some
that.
other stuff.
I know they cast the main character. I didn't know they were actually filming though.
I think they said they're filming same thing with the Marvels series. I think they're also going to start filming that, or if they haven't already started. They have a lot of stuff. Like what's crazy to me is this is the type of stuff like these should be movies. Like these are
Yeah,
like movie budgeted, big name TV shows.
yeah.
And like it's just unprecedented.
But then they would. So I don't know if that does better for them, right? So they have they have other avenues they're trying to do. So the movies, you're trying to get the money from that, right? But
Yeah.
if you're trying to get subscriptions for your streaming service, this is a way to keep people on board, right? At that
Right.
point. So this is the way to keep people paying 10.99, 12.99, whatever it is, for
Right. It just doesn't seem like enough for what you're getting. Like, and
well,
I rarely say that, you know what I mean? But they're pumping out some like really good content.
so you don't
And
think they're giving you enough for Disney Plus? You don't think they're giving you enough?
nothing they're giving me too much for what I'm paying.
Okay. I get
Yeah.
what you're saying. I got you. I thought you were saying they're
Yeah.
not giving you enough for what you're paying. I was like, man, I don't know. I
No,
got you.
I mean, they're giving you a lot, a lot, a
Yeah.
lot. Which I'm not definitely not complaining. I don't see it feels like they're losing. It just feels like they're losing money, like because the production value is so high. Um, but I don't know how big their subscription base is. Like maybe it's offsets it. And not to mention, like you buy Marvel for $4 billion, and then every movie you drop is almost $1 billion movie for the
Yeah.
past decade. So I'm sure they have plenty of capital.
They've more than made their money, right? And here's the thing. Then they'll put in a ride somewhere, right? That gets more people to come and spend $12 on turkey legs, and you know what I mean, $5 on sodas when you go to the amusement park. So
Right.
they're more than making their money on this type of stuff. So yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but yeah, great content. Like I like the premise of Hawkeye. Like at first when I saw it, I was like, "Oh, it's gonna be lame." And then in the trailer, and I was like, "Oh, it gives me Die Hard vibes." Like
Yeah.
I was like, not just the theme, but just the entire like production of it. And
Yeah.
like every single one of their shows has like a theme. Every single one of the movies has a theme. And it's like, man, this is good. This is good stuff. I'll actually watch that
Yeah.
because I had no plans to care. Like I would watch it only to in case it had something to do with a movie or something coming up, but I didn't actually care about it until I saw the trailer, and I was like, okay. Like so now I'm interested in She-Hulk because I wasn't interested in that either. Um, but they said that Mark Ruffalo will appear in that one as well. So I'm like, man, they really setting stuff up.
Yeah. For sure.
So that's pretty cool. Let me see. My week, I started a book because I need something to do on the treadmill. So I started Stephen King's The Institute. Um, Pretty interesting. Like it was a suggestion from my wife, so I started listening to it, and it took a good hour or two. Because Stephen King it's a slow burn. He'll tell you a story, and then all of a sudden they'll jump to a different character, and you'll be like, "Is this a different book?" And then it kicks off, and I'm like, "Oh, okay, I like it." So I've been listening to that. I'm probably like 4 or 5 hours into it. I've been playing games. So the Halo Infinite beta dropped this weekend and next weekend. So I've been playing that, getting my face punched in. I used to be good at Halo, like if like pretty good, not like making money good, even though I did win a couple tournaments, but I was good. Age has taken a toll on me because my reflexes are not fast enough. Um, what's cool about the beta though is you can play against bots or you can play against people. So I jumped on a match and I was just getting worked. So I was like, okay, I don't understand the mechanics. Some things are different, right? So let me go play against the bots. So I'm starting to play against the bots, and they're not the dumbest of bots, but they're not as aggressive as people. So I'm like, we're playing like team deathmatch, and we're beating them like 50-2. We're like stomping them. I was just like, oh, I'm warm now. Let me get back into this real people multiplayer. Nah, man, I can't win for losing.
The community has passed you by. So like you took that break and everybody else got
I took
better.
Yeah, I took all the Halo 5 off, and I am trash now. But I'm gonna keep playing. Like the beta is fun, so I'm playing that. And to LeVon's suggestion, I downloaded Psychonauts 2. I downloaded a couple of the Yakuza games, and I downloaded 12 minutes. So when the beta ends, when it sunsets, I guess tomorrow, because you can't play during the week, right? It's only the 2 weekends. I'll start playing. I'll probably jump into 12 minutes. Is probably what I'll start playing. That's the one with William Defoe. Um, oh man, what's the old boy's name? He plays the young Charles Xavier.
Oh, I had his name in the one podcast. What is his name? It's oh my gosh.
Yeah, but that guy.
Yeah.
So Like I like him as an actor, but it has him. Like they're all stars. It was an indie game by Annapurna, is the publisher. I want to say I like Annapurna games. They're like my type of game. You know what I mean? Like they make small, concise, story-driven games. They're a little like weird, so to speak. Like this one is a 12-minute loop. So uh you're trying to figure out like what is going on in the situation. It's like him, it's either a husband and wife or a couple that are dating or whatever, and like he's trying to figure out like what is happening because at the end of your 12-minute loop, William Defoe busts in and he kills you. So you learn by failing. It's kind of like a roguelike, but it's story driven. Like it's trying to get you somewhere. So you have to quickly learn, like, okay, if I do X, Y, and Z, I will get to a new point to learn some more about what's happening. Or I can do, A, B, and C, and I can die faster, so I can get back into the loop to try to figure this out to save my significant other. So I think it's pretty cool. So I hear you can probably beat it in the day. So I'll probably jump on that because that for me would take probably almost a week. Um, so that's probably my next jump off will probably be 12 minutes.
Willem Dafoe always makes a good villain, though. That's the thing. So
He does.
he just
He
makes a
does.
he's made a
Like,
he has made a living off of that. Like he can never be a good guy again. But I mean, that means he's probably the nicest person in the world you'll ever meet.
right,
That's kind of how it works
right.
with the people that play villains. It's like they are so nice in real life. They tip $1,000 every time they go to a restaurant. You know what I mean? It's
Right.
crazy. But hey,
And
James McAvoy is the
there it
young.
is, James
Okay.
McAvoy. And then the female lead is also a pretty big actress as well. Like when the game was first announced, like years ago, because indie games take a long time, right? So it's a very small team, if not just one person. So they take a long time. But anything that Annapurna is publishing, I know is going to be my jam. So when I first started looking at it, it had people I never heard of before. They were voice actors, but they weren't big names. And then as it went through development, somehow they snagged these people. Annapurna is also they also produce movies. So there's a connection, right? They have a Hollywood link there. So for whatever reason, they must have been shopping the script around, and these three jumped on it. Like, yeah, I want that. So it's got to be, pretty good. But the joke was as soon as they cast William Dafoe, everybody was like, "Who is he playing?" And it was like something cop, and they were like, "Oh, that's not a cop." Like off the bat, there's no way, no way William Dafoe's playing a good guy.
Yeah, that's just how he is, man. Like good for him. It has made him rich. It's made him successful. It's made him
Yeah,
recognizable. But yeah, he just does not play good guys, man. It just doesn't happen.
right.
What was I watching the other day? I was watching something the other day, rewatching something the other day, and I was like, oh, he seems like a good guy, and then he really wasn't. Oh, Great Wall with Matt Damon. Great Wall, is that the name of it?
Great Wall.
Yeah, it's
I
the
don't
one
think
where
I
he's
don't think
the
I've seen that
archer.
one.
It's the one where he's the archer. Yeah. So like Willem Dafoe is in it, and
Yeah,
I
it's
don't,
like
I don't
this is your bad guy. So I
yeah.
am pretty excited to play that. So I'll definitely play that. Like Game Pass is just amazing. Like I don't know if you've been dabbling or not, but like Game Pass, like there's over 100 games in there. For
I
very
don't
like I pay $15 a month, and like because I was paying 10 just for live, right? And I wasn't using the service. My son was. But when they offered Game Pass, I was like, I'll give him another $5. Why not? And then you just a huge catalog.
I don't play games enough to warrant it, to be honest with you. And right now, so like maybe my son would, like if I was to buy it, I might do it for my son. But he's on Xbox, I'm on PlayStation. So I don't know if it has to be, is it specifically for just one console or
Yeah, it's Microsoft's product, so
so it
it's
only the Xbox?
yeah, only Xbox.
No.
It's the equivalent of PSN, except for instead of getting, because remember Gold used to give you 2 games a month. Now you just pay like it's like the Netflix of video games, which we'll revisit when we talk about the fourth generation of consoles. Because I don't know if you remember Sega Channel, but that was a thing way ahead of its time. Which this is basically the spiritual successor of Sega Channel. So I won't go too much into it, but you remember the Genesis had like it was like you can build upon it, right? So your regular Sega Genesis, then you had your add-on was the 32X, was a CD-based system. But then there was also, if you had at least where I lived at, it was TCI at the time, cable. I think it became GCI later on. They sold a modem that you plugged into your cartridge slot, and they gave like through your cable coax line. So coax into the modem into the cartridge slot, and you got 100 games. It was a month, and then it flipped to being every 2 weeks they switch them out. And I played because I didn't have a lot of money, so I played all types of games. That's why I wanted the Genesis so bad. That's why I didn't get a Super NES. I had to pick one. So I wanted the Genesis so I can get Sega Channel so I can play all these games.
I was not aware of that.
It was a thing, yeah. It was way ahead of its time.
That's definitely way
Um,
ahead of its time, especially back
yeah,
with Sega Genesis. You know what I mean? That was
yeah.
years and years ago.
That
Huh.
was early '90s when I had that. Like I used to stay up till midnight to watch the games roll over on the first of the month.
How did they not keep capitalizing on that? Like maybe they
It
were losing money at that point then.
I don't know. Like it was amazing, but it did never took off. Like it I think I had it for a year before they stopped doing the service, and it was sorely missed. I played everything on that, man, like Earthworm Jim, Vector Man, Risk Star, like all those games. But we'll get to it. We'll get to it next week. But where's it going? Oh, so this feels like the spiritual system. Like anything that Sega was doing back in the day, it feels as though the Microsoft team kind of is in that same vein of doing stuff. Like it really feels like the spiritual successor to the Genesis and the Dreamcast and all that stuff. So I really like the service. It's very timely. Again, Microsoft is bleeding money because there's no way it's being paid for. Um, but and
They got money to burn.
yeah, when you got money to burn, why not?
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, so I downloaded a couple games. I've been playing Halo. Again, mechanics are beautiful. It's definitely Halo, and I'm playing it on the Xbox One S. So the game scales, right? So I'm playing on the S, and it doesn't look terrible. I know what it looks like on the Series X through video, right? So like 4K 60 is what it could be. I'm playing it. It's probably 1080 30 frames, and it still feels good. It looks good enough. So they're definitely doing their magic, and it'll be free, right? It'll be a Game Pass game. Like anything Microsoft publishes is on Game Pass day one. So
I don't know. That might be something I subscribe to for my son. Like if he's interested. I mean, I don't know. He's the Xbox one in the house. So I plan like even though I have the PS5, I probably still plan on getting a Series X. You know what I mean? Just to have both. I've never had it at any point in my life. Well, let me say this: at any point that Microsoft has had their game console to where I've had both at the same time. Like I've had
okay,
Xbox by itself, I've had PlayStation by itself, but I've never had both at the same time. So like when I got the PS4, that's when I gave my Xbox to my son. You know what I mean?
oh okay, I got you.
And then just from there, it just stayed with. And honestly, it was not like it wasn't like I was a Sony fanboy or a Microsoft fanboy or anything like that. I went with what came out first. And the reason I got the PS4 was because I think Xbox actually pushed theirs back, the release back a couple weeks when it first came out, when the PS4 came out.
I
So
think
I
it was
think
staggered.
Sony,
Yeah,
I think Sony came out first. I was like, all right, I guess I'm getting a PlayStation. You know what I mean? Like
right.
PS4 is what it is, But and then yeah, I think that's what it was. Because yeah, I had the Xbox, whichever the other one was that had the red ring of death. I can't remember which one. Was that
That was
one?
the 360.
360. There you go.
Yep.
360. Yeah. So I never had the one because I had PS4. You know what I mean? And then now I got PS5. So, but again, I'm not hating on Sony. I'm not hating on Microsoft. I'll have you
Right.
both eventually, right? I'm in a better place than what I used to be, to where I can have you both. You know what I mean? And I
Gotcha.
will.
Yeah.
I'll kiss you both. Mwah, mwah.
Yeah, once they're in stores, I sent you guys that article. People were lining up around corners, and
Yes.
they had a drop. I had a few friends who actually snagged a console. Like one of my friends, he was in Virginia, I want to say. He stood in line. He said he was at the Best Buy for 5 hours, camped out, but he got one.
That's crazy. I saw what you sent, and I watched some of the videos of people like recording too,
Yeah,
and I was just like, wow, is it that serious? Like I think as I've gotten older, I'm like, yeah, it's just not worth it. You know what I mean? Like my
right.
my, my knee will hurt if I stand out there too long. You know what I mean? I can't do that.
Yeah, yeah, it's crazy. I mean, this is almost a year after launch, right? And people were still lining up around corners. Like
Yeah, November, right?
crazy world.
They dropped
Yeah,
in November, so yeah, we're 2 months out from that. Yeah, for
it's
sure.
crazy. But outside of games, what else? Did I watch a movie? I don't think I watched a movie. Like they're not playing anything that I wanted to watch. So I watched What If. Again, it was okay. Um, feel like I watched something. I don't think I did though. Nope, didn't watch anything. And then we talked about Griselda. So we did that last week, and I was like, yeah, you should listen. You should watch. You should listen to it. They're from Buffalo, yada yada yada. So uh,
So I
you don't like?
did. So here's the thing. So I listened to your suggestion. So they have a few albums out, and I subscribe to Apple Music, so I could hear a lot of that stuff whenever I want to. And so the one you gave me was WWCD. So it's what would Chinny was it Chin Gun Sheen Gun? What would Sheen Gun do? Is what the WWCD stands for. I had to look it up, right? Like I looked into the group. I watched an interview on Complex. The lyrics, they are great lyricists, but the production to me leaves something to be desired because it sounds
Gotcha.
like when Wu Tang first came out, like I was all for it, and then when they got big, all of a sudden their production value just fell off for me. You know what I mean? I was just like, ugh, what are you doing there? And it's like they got a hype man thing going on where somebody's just making gun sounds the whole time. I'm like,
It's
I'm not
hilarious.
I'm not here to listen to that. Like, I don't need to hear that. Like, I don't need that. You know what I mean? But like the other stuff, I'm like, oh, okay, all right, yeah, yeah, they go hard. You know what I mean? Like when I first listened to it, I thought Griselda was one guy that had a bunch of features, but it's a group. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So I didn't realize that, but I was like, you were like, no, 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 it's a few of them. I was like, okay, that makes sense then, because not every song had a feature like in the
right.
parentheses when I had it. I was like, man, Apple is falling off. They didn't talk about these features, but Griselda's a group, so yeah, you don't have
Right.
to. It's the three of them. But no, I did like the lyrics. I intend to listen to more of their stuff other than the album that you sent me to see if the production is the same way. You know what I mean? Like I'm not
Yeah.
trying to hear all that production, but the lyrics were like I know it's crazy to say, but the stuff they rap about is not uh not necessarily the most politically correct or the most moral
Right.
thing, you know what I mean? But
Right.
it's entertainment, right? Like it's weird to say, but I'm like I'm all for that. Like tell me about the game, you know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah, it wasn't bad, man. I'm gonna give them another shot. So I listened to what was Sheen Gun do, WWCD, what was Sheen Gun do, and now I'm gonna try some of their other stuff and see what we get.
Okay. Yeah, I would suggest Benny the Butcher's album. Not his latest is good, but the one where I think he was in Texas when he got shot or whatever, like that one. I'll shoot you a link. I'm like, hey, listen to this one. Let me think what you like. And he has some features. He brings some of the Griselda on there or whatever, but it's mainly it's his album.
So
So
Benny the Butcher is the one that got shot in the back of the head. The one's got the side of his face paralyzed. Is that Benny the Butcher?
no, he got shot. He got shot in the leg.
Okay, yeah, yeah. So he's okay. So I think I saw him. He was the newer one to the group, right? He
Yeah.
came on later than the other ones. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, I got
Mhm.
you. Yeah, yeah. The one
Yeah.
guy I was watching the interview, and like I noticed that like the right side of his face was just stiff, and I was like, man, what's going on there? And I had to read up, and yeah, he got shot in the back of the head that paralyzed the right side of his face. I was like, oh, okay, that's why. Because it looked intentional at first, and I was like, no, that's not
Mm,
doing it the whole
gotcha.
time. Like the way he's talking, but yeah, that's what happened though, because they talked about his solo album. The interview I watched was from Complex Magazine was the one that did the video interview with him. So
Okay.
I watched that.
I haven't seen that one. Okay.
Well,
I'll check it out.
you already on board. You already know. You know, Buffalo represent Buffalo. You know what I mean. So you already
Right.
hip to the
Right.
game. I was learning. I was learning.
But yeah. And then just I've been trying to listen to new music because, like I said, I do treadmill just about every day. Like I gotta close these rings out. Like I and then just watch because they've gamified fitness, right? So the watch is like, hey, you real close to close this ring out. You should probably do something. I'm like, I should do something. So it's the carrot. It keeps me going. So every morning I'm on the treadmill, either running or I'm walking or something. Um, to close my rings, hopefully lose some of this COVID weight. That's what I'm trying to work on. Um, aside from that, man, I just been jobbing it, like I changed jobs come Monday, so I'll be back doing communications type things. Pretty excited about that. And I'm wrapping up this term, so I'm grading projects and papers and what have you. So just trying to find time to decompress. So pretty much it for me.
I don't know where you find the time, man. All the stuff you're doing, I'm just like, wow.
Well, this is, you figure out quick that when you're geographically separated from the family, there is nothing but time to kill.
That is
You're like,
true.
man, like where did all this time? Because you like when you're at home, you're like, there's just not enough time in the day. I can't get enough sleep. I can't do X, Y. He's just complaining, and then you get out here, like away from the family, you just like the boredom. Like time moves slower. Like why does time move so slow? Uh, but some good stuff came out of it. You know what I mean? Like we got the podcast going. Episode, this should be 112. Yes. 9, 10, 11. Yep, 112. Um, and then just doing the teaching thing. It's being very fruitful. So, I definitely enjoy it. It's keeping me sharp. I gotta start. I gotta get sharper on networking again. I'm teaching a network class next go around. So, gotta dip back in them books. Inspired, I might pursue my CCNP maybe. I got some time to kill, but first things first. CHFI. I gotta work on that one. So that was one of the hanging threads from my degree. They gave me a voucher, but I didn't have to take the test. I took the in class test to pass the course. But they were like, here's your voucher to actually get the certification. I just never pursued it. So I definitely want to go back and try to tie that knot, and then after that, I don't know.
So, what about these categories we're gonna talk about, man? Let's bring this up. So,
Okay, so it's 80s movies, right?
yeah, 80s movies. So
So
you
top five.
you got me thinking. So when I did this, like, so I had to put them down. I wrote them down, but like I started thinking, and like this kind of turned into mostly an Eddie Murphy list for me, right? So like
Okay,
for me, so my if I was to guess top five, right? And I didn't watch a lot of the 80s movies that a lot of other people watch. You know what I mean? So like I don't some of the Footloose and stuff like that. It was whatever. But for
right.
me, I think my number one is probably Coming to America. So
Oh,
Coming to
okay.
America, and when I started thinking, I was like Coming to America, and then I was like, well, wait a minute. Then it came to my number two, Beverly Hills Cop. I was like,
Oh, yeah.
okay, you
Yep.
know what I mean, Beverly Hills Cop. And then I was like, Top Gun is one I watch a lot of. Whenever it comes on, I watch Top Gun. Batman,
Really?
yes, Top Gun.
I'm surprised.
I love Top Gun. I even had the video game. I even had the video game growing
Oh,
up.
wow.
You have to land on the carrier, which I could never do, but I loved Top Gun.
It was
The ori-
impossible. It was
yeah,
impossible.
it seems like it. Like I could probably do it no problem now. You know, I've just got years of training doing other things that require coordination. But as a kid, nah, I couldn't get that down. Um,
Right.
and then the original Batman with Michael Keaton. So that one, I was like, okay, I
Oh
like
man, you got a couple of my joint. You got a couple of my jams on there.
that. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
And then my last one, like I said, it was a Eddie Murphy hit list, right? So Trading Places was probably my last one for my top five that I would say in the
Okay.
80s.
Okay.
What
So
what
we
about
we we got a few crossovers. So Coming to America.
you? Yeah.
Like if that's not your top five, then we can't be friends. So, like, that's going out to you, LeVon. Your top five better have Coming to America in it. I did like Trading Places, but that's not my top five. Like yeah, but like he just was rolling like 48 Hours, Beverly Hills Cop, Golden Child. Was that 80s or was that 70s? That's 80s, right? Golden Child. Golden Child is trash, but
That's
he is hilarious. Golden Child is trash. Like I watched it recently. It is trash, but he's hilarious. But yeah, Eddie Murphy just had nothing but hits. And then Eddie Murphy Raw, I had it on cassette tape. I used to listen to it like almost every day. Like I'm surprised that tape didn't break. That shouldn't not appropriate for me to be listening to it.
I was gonna say you were a young kid then, man.
Not appropriate for me to listen to it. I
Yeah.
should be funny. Like I should like how am I not funny? And I used to listen to that every day. I don't understand. But no, so yeah, definitely Coming to America. But you know me, I'm a sci-fi head. So Blade Runner, one of the greatest sci-fi movies of all time, and still to this day holds up. I'm saying it.
I'm, I've
Blade
never
Runner.
seen it. I've never seen it. I had somebody
You've
at
never
work.
seen Blade Runner?
I had somebody at work suggest the same thing to me, like I should watch Blade Runner. I've never seen it. Yeah.
Oh man, it's
I did. I
amazing.
again, I did not watch a lot of movies in the '80s. Like I for the
Yeah.
most part, I was a young kid. Just this is back when your children could play outside and everything was fine, right?
Right,
Like
right.
I was miles away from home playing basketball, football, baseball, whatever I could do. You know what I mean? As a young kid, so and we didn't have cable growing up. Like we didn't have money, so when we got cable, it was kind of a big deal. But even then, I wasn't going to
Right.
sit in the house all day and watch whatever. And like when I say cable, I'm talking about like the basic stuff that don't come over antenna. Like we never had the HBOs, the Cinemaxes, Showtime. It just wasn't something we had. So I didn't watch a lot of those movies in the '80s, right? I saw some of them in the '80s because I can remember with um with coming to America, my cousin in Tennessee, we went to one of his friends' house and they had the cassette tape, they had the VHS, and that's where I watched that. And I was, right in the beginning, I'm like, that lady's got her shirt off in the bathtub. You know what I mean? I'm a little kid. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
so like I was like, that stuck with me. But yeah,
Right.
but continue with your list, man. I'm sorry.
Oh, so what was it? Coming to America, Blade Runner, um, oh man, it just fell right out of my head. It'll come back though. Um, oh man, what was the movie I was about to say? Batman. So the original Batman, or not the original, but Michael Keaton's Batman, with your boy
Jack Nicholson was the Joker.
Jack Nicholson as the Joker,
Yeah.
and with the Prince soundtrack. It is still to this day my favorite Batman. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah.
The modern Batmans are amazing, but nothing like, I don't know, man. I broke that VHS. That's how many times I played it. This would play it and rewind it, play and rewind it.
You know what? I think you're gonna like the new one. Don't think about Robert Pattinson as the vampire, but like that one looks really gritty. Like it's right up your
Right.
lane. Like you're gonna be like,
When he
this is
said I'm
one of his favorites.
vengeance, when he
Yeah,
said I'm
man.
vengeance in the trailer, because at first I was like, nah, man, you could be in there twinkling. I ain't feeling this.
Yeah, yeah,
But when he started hitting the dude, it was like, I am vengeance. I was like,
yeah.
oh,
Like dude went down and he still got some shots in. I was like, oh, that's gonna be up your alley, man. That's probably gonna be up my alley too. Like I'm gonna be like, okay,
yeah.
yes, I like this. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They had me off the trailer alone. I was like, okay, I'm definitely giving this one a shot. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's my favorite Batman. Like, I would say probably, because the second one was good too, but like Dark Knight would be, after the original Batman, because it's just a phenomenal movie. But yeah, but that Batman was amazing. And then it got weird with the Clooney's and
Yeah.
he had the bat nipples and the bat credit cards. It was like, what is happening?
And what's crazy is that I'm not a Tim Burton fan. Like Tim Burton did that first Batman.
He
I'm not
did.
a fan of his movies, but that one I was just like, I love like if I see it come on like somewhere. Well, I used to because I don't have cable anymore. But if it would come
Yeah.
on, I would watch it. Like I would be like, I will endure the edits. Where they take the cuss words
Right.
out. For
Right.
any of my movies in that top five. You know what I mean? Even though on that Batman, they didn't cuss a lot. I think they might have
No.
dropped some S's or whatever. Maybe, but
Yeah.
but yeah, I would watch them and be like, oh man, that's what it is. Like I don't know. I liked it.
Right.
I don't know why, because I'm not a big Tim Burton fan. Maybe because
And Michael, it's probably Michael Keaton. Like he was a smooth uh
Playboy, billionaire
yeah,
Playboy. Yeah.
Bruce Wayne. Like when he took the bat grappling hook and asked how much she weighed and scooped her up, and then he couldn't get up all the way. He was like, "You
Yeah,
lying? You lying?"
called her out on it. Yeah, called her out on it. She was like 105 or whatever she said.
Right, right.
Yeah.
And then Jack Nicholson, one of the best Jokers, like not the best Joker, but one of the best Jokers. I would put him in definitely second to Heath Ledger.
Heath
Like
Ledger.
Heath Ledger was the best Joker, but like he set the tone. You know what I mean? The Shining was almost in this one, but I don't think The Shining is the 80s. Isn't The Shining in the 70s?
It
I can't
might be
remember.
it might be the late 70s for The Shining.
Yeah, so that
Yeah.
that one didn't count, but obviously I love horror flicks and what have you. Um, I think we're on four. Um, Beetlejuice, again with the Michael Keaton. That movie was amazing. I had the what's it called? I forget. It was an action figure or something like that for the movie. Uh, so that
Where the,
that, that
where
one
the
had,
heads where the heads
yeah,
from? Yeah.
Yep, yep. That was lasting impression on me. And then at Arnold, man, like everything Arnold made was amazing to me back then. If I had to pick one Arnold flick from that time period, I would go with um, uh,
Say Predator. Say
yeah,
Predator.
I'll go with Predator.
Yeah.
But Terminator, man, like Terminator was amazing, but Predator was on a different level because then you had Total Recall, you had Predator, you
Yeah.
had uh, was Running Man in the 80s or 70s? I think Running Man was the 80s. He was like, "We're gonna
Yeah.
punch you in the stomach, we're gonna punch your
Yeah.
goddamn spine." Like I was a huge Arnold fan. Like so when we deployed back in '05, I would go to the because the MWR had a library of movies. I would just snatch up another Arnold joint and we just play it at work. It was between the Arnold like movies every day and the Chappelle show. That's all we watch. But that would be my top five, man. But honorable mentions like anything Arnold made, anything you said like Eddie Murphy made, because that was just like 80s was the best decade for movies. I don't care what anybody says. Uh, and then like the sci-fi epics, like you had Alien and Aliens. You had like I
Well,
said, you had
the first Alien I think was in the 70s though. I
what's
think
the
it was
70? It
like
was like
I think it was
77,
like
right?
70 like 78, 79. I think
Okay.
I gotta look that up now, but I think Alien was the tail end. And with you being a sci-fi guy, I could see
And it
Alien.
still holds up. Like
Yeah.
it is like I don't know. It's just the aesthetic. Like the 80s aesthetic for sci-fi for whatever reason still holds true. Um,
Yeah.
because I don't know, man. It's like the lens flare with the blinky buttons. Like it just works. Because Blade Runner 2 still had the same aesthetic, but it just worked. Like and it was a good movie, in my opinion. I watched it. It's one of the only movies I watched back to back. Like I literally finished it
Hmm.
and I was like, I need to see this again. Because
Wow.
I missed some stuff. I had Batista in it. Harrison Ford was reprising his role. It had a I forget what the new protagonist name was, but he's a big actor as well.
Oh, it's Ryan. What is his name?
It's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
Gosling, is it? Ryan Gosling?
Gosling. Yeah, Gosling.
Yeah, Ryan Gosling. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
He did a phenomenal job. Like that movie was actually really good. So I would suggest you try out Blade Runner. And it might not hold like because you're not watching it through nostalgia,
Yeah.
so it probably won't hold up as well. But Blade Runner 2 is a direct sequel in timing. So like literally, there's a 30-year gap between the two movies, and the Blade Runner 2 takes place 30 years later.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
it makes Harrison's Ford age make sense. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's like a direct like linkage there
Okay.
in time. So
Alien was 1979. Alien.
79. Oh, it almost made it. It
Yeah.
almost made it. But yeah,
Yeah.
that movie was amazing. Like that and Blade Runner and even Total Recall like set the stage for sci-fi moving forward.
Total
Like
Recall was good. Total Recall was good. I
the yeah, old girl had the paper mache third breast as a kid. Blew my mind. It looked so real. I was like, they
Yeah,
can have
that's crazy.
three.
Yeah.
When you watch it now, you're like, that's terrible.
Like that's a deformity. Like what was I so happy about as a child, you know?
It's terrible. Like and that like I don't know if you saw the remake for Total Recall. I won't even call it a remake because it's not Total Recall.
It isn't, but I liked it.
It was
I
good. It
actually
was
liked
good.
it.
I
Yeah.
was like, why don't I just call it something else? Because I was like, it's a really good movie. I think you kind of spoiled it a little bit by calling it this, and it's not that. But it was good. I like the whole aesthetic.
I think for the newer generation that hasn't watched the first one, I don't think it would ruin it for them, right? Like
Right.
people know of the Total Recall from the 80s, but it's one of those things where they may not even relate the two. They were like, oh, it was a good movie, right? You if you have some young 20-year-old watching the new one, they're like, oh, this is pretty good. But
Yeah.
you're right. It's the nostalgia doesn't tie it back to be like, ah, that
No.
wasn't but it did have references back to some of the stuff, like the head thing.
Yeah,
Like
the
when
head thing.
you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah, the
Like
head
so
thing.
it references some stuff from back then. So
Yeah,
yeah.
but they had air. All right. The first one they had no air. When he broke the glass, he was like, "Ah," his eyes were coming out. And it looked so real as a little kid. It's terrible. Terrible effects. It was just the two circles. He's like, "Ah."
mouth all open. Yeah. Yeah. I'm like, but wait a minute, if that was the case, like, would you not freeze on the Mars planet? I don't
Right.
know.
I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know. But yeah, man, like that. I do believe the 80s had the best. Like the 90s had really good movies as well, like between the 80s and the 90s. But then after that, movies are trash. I said it.
Wow, wow, wow. Okay.
Yeah, I said it. I said it. No, it's some good movies. It's just like I don't know, your childhood. Like I'm sure somebody who watched 70 movies growing up would probably like the 70s was the best decade for movies. But yeah, the 80s. So yeah, that would be my top five. That would definitely be my
Okay.
top five.
You didn't have any weird ones in there, man. I was expecting to get at least two weird ones in there. I'd be like, oh no, what is
Yeah.
that? You know?
I'm sure they had some Donnie Darkos and some whatnot back then, but I was too young to comprehend and enjoy. I was watching Beetlejuice, you know what I mean? Like, and anything that Eddie Murphy dropped during that time. Um, but the last piece was to talk about the voice cast of the new, not the new Super Mario Brothers movie, but the newer, because the new Super Mario Brothers is an actual like series of Mario games. So
Okay.
this is the Illumination Mario CG movie. So was not expecting this list. So I was watching the Nintendo Direct, and they actually had some jams on there. They had some really good games that are going to come out to the platform. The Switch is never going to die. I am definitely hungry for a new one, a more powerful one. Uh, but gameplay is king, and they don't have to look pretty. They just have to play well, and everything that they get plays well. Anything Nintendo makes, like I would say, when it comes to software companies, Nintendo is almost a perfect software company. You might not get what you want, but you will get something great most of the time. Like,
See, and I think Nintendo, for me, Nintendo just, uh, I know it's not what they're trying to do, but it just seems like for the younger audiences where like they're kind of aiming towards. Like I don't,
always, yeah,
you
they're like,
know,
we'll catch you on nostalgia, but you're
yeah.
not going to get a Zelda where you get to run somebody through. It's just not going to happen. Even though we all want it, we want that. We want a Zelda Witcher game. They're like, nah, you
We
will
could,
never get that.
yeah.
But yeah, the voice cast dropped, and like I thought it was a prank. Like I had to look it up after watching the video. I was like, there's no way that that's going to be the voice cast to the Mario movie. Um, but they have Chris Pratt as Mario. They have Anya Taylor Joy as Peach. I don't know much of her work, but uh, I
You
think.
like Queen's Gambit though. You like Queen's Gambit, so that's what she was in, right?
Oh, that is her, man.
Yeah.
Listen, if you change your hair, you change the color of your hair or the length. She was amazing in that. That was one of my favorite series. Was it 2 years ago now?
You really didn't know that was
No,
her? Okay.
no. I tell my wife all the time, like, because she'll show me something on Instagram and ask me like, is this real or is this fake, or like, who is this? And I feel like I'm like a level or two from having there's a condition where you can't recognize faces. You know what I mean? Like if I see you out of uniform, you're a different person. Like I'm so rude. Like people walk up to me like, "Hey, how you doing?" I'm like, "Hey, who are you?" Terrible. It probably ties into my whole inability to. I have no compass when it comes to finding my directions. I just don't have it. Never have. Like so when I worked with the army for that 5 years, land nav used to. It didn't even terrify me. It was just like, I'm not going to be able to find you, right? Why are we doing this? I'm not going to get to wherever you're trying to. I can draw the lines on the map. I can shoot my azimuth, and then when I start walking, I never. I think I reached my destination twice during the field exercise. Out of the 10 times, I got where I need to be 2 times. Like I think that ties into the whole not uh, like literally. I did not know that was the same lady. And
That's
she's
that's
obviously the same lady.
that's who it is. Yeah. Oh man.
But you got Charlie Day as Luigi. Like for whatever reason, that is the perfect fit.
I love Charlie Day. Yeah, yeah. From his
He's
from his look,
hilarious.
From It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I keep trying to get you put on, man. Like you gotta watch that.
I need to pick it up. Like, but you said how many seasons? Is seven? Seven seasons?
No, it's 14 now. Like
14 seasons.
that show's been running for a while. Yeah.
Is it 24 a season?
No. It's only like 10. I think so.
Oh, okay.
The
That's
first
doable.
season is like 6, and then it's like tens after that. There might be some that have like 12 or 13 in there, but for the most part, it's 10 to 13. So it's
Okay.
not 24. Yeah, but they've been on for a long time, man. They've been on for a long time. And again,
Yeah.
there's hits and misses in the seasons, but Charlie
Because
is because he
I
plays
think
the
you,
idiot.
I was gonna say, I think you actually gave me the box set at the time, right? Like
I might have. I
you were
might
like, here you go, because I just wouldn't watch it. You're like, here you go, you will
have.
enjoy this. And for whatever reason, I just never watched. I returned it to you. I was like, man, I'm just never gonna watch this. For no, like, I don't understand why I'm not watching this series.
Here's the thing. In all honesty, at the time you were busy, right? Like you were going to school, like you had other stuff going on, the family and everything. So I was like, yeah, okay. Eventually you'll get around to it. But
I do. I definitely want to watch it. I definitely want to watch it. Like,
I'll tell you the very first episode is called The Gang Gets Racist. And like when I saw the title come up, I was like, ooh, I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna like this, you know what I mean? But like
right,
it's one of those things where it's kind of like Boondocks, right? Where it's like, man, I know I should not be enjoying this based off what's going on here, but I am
right,
definitely enjoying this based off what's going on here. You know what I mean?
definitely. I definitely gotta check it out. But it doesn't stop there though. Like, so Jack Black is Bowser again. That seems to be perfect fit. You have Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong. So Donkey Kong's gonna make an appearance because why not? You have Keegan Michael Key as Toad. It's gonna be hilarious. Um, you have Kevin Michael Richardson as Kamek. I don't know who that is off the top of my head. I have to Google it.
I didn't either. I didn't either. But Kevin Michael Richardson does a lot of voice acting. Like he's all over like the DC animated stuff. Like if you
Okay,
look him up, like if you look up his IMDb, like he voices a lot of stuff. A
got
lot
you.
of stuff. No.
Yeah, so I'm definitely down for that. And then you have Fred Armisen as Cranky Kong. That is going to be hilarious.
Yeah.
I like everything he's in. And then I don't know the last person, Sebastian.
Maniscalco. He's a comedian that is
Right,
hilarious. Yeah. But
got you. And
yeah.
he'll be playing as Spike.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't understand how they got these people. I understand how they got these people because that's a $1 billion IP.
No.
I just it blows my mind. The guy who does all of the Mario voices and sounds, the wahoo and all that stuff, he's actually involved in the movie as well. They didn't say what he's going to be doing.
Yeah.
He may just be doing those sounds for when they're necessary, or he may be because he does other characters too. I think he does like Wario and some other people. So maybe to make an appearance of some sort. So that's good that they're still sticking to because that would suck. You know, what I mean, this dude's been doing it for decades. To not have him involved in some way. So you can definitely tell Nintendo definitely is making sure this is not like the first Mario movie, which was complete trash. I think that came out in the 80s too. Everything in the 80s wasn't great. That was garbage.
It might have been 90s though, because Leguizamo was in it. Leguizamo was not that old. I don't think because I think he might be like 50 or something like that, but I think it was in
Gotcha.
the 90s. And again, like you do what you got to do to make the money to feed your children. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
that
that's
movie was trash.
but
And
hey,
then remember the TV show, the live action TV show?
I do not. There was a
Oh
live action
man,
TV show of Mario.
yes, yes, it's hilarious. He's like, "What's up, paisanos?" You remember
No,
that?
are you for
You
real?
gotta find a clip on YouTube. Like it was
Wow.
magical. It was
I
magical.
I am sensing in your voice. I will probably regret this if I watch it. Like, it was
'Cause I think
probably terrible.
'cause I think it was. I only remember the live action part, but I think it was live action segments between the cartoon. It was a cartoon, but it had like they would come out of the cartoon into the real world.
Okay, so I do remember the cartoon. I do remember the
Yeah.
cartoon. I
So
never
this was the
watched
live
it.
stuff around it. Yes, there was live stuff around it.
Okay, I remember the cartoon, but I never actually watched it. But you're saying there was live action stuff in the cart. So like all of a sudden, live action people would come into the cartoon. Like
No, it'd be the opposite. Like they'd come out like the drain pipe into the real world.
oh, like a segment. So like they would
Yeah.
come out of the drain pipe in the animated, and then it'd be the live action type
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, I
Yeah.
got you. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Just
Okay.
the intro is worth it alone. Just to watch the intro, the theme song,
Oh man.
hilarious.
So
Um,
was it John Leguizamo and Bob Hoskins from the movie?
no, no,
Okay.
it was
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
I forget what the guy's name. I don't even know if he did anything after it, to be honest with you. He doesn't
Okay.
have to. He's iconic forever now. Like, he will never be forgotten.
No. So I don't remember if it was you or LeVon though, but like made a suggestion on who should play Wario, right? In the movie, if they get Wario. Was that
I think
you
that
or
was
LeVon?
no, so that was what I saw on the internet said Dan DeVito.
Yeah. That would be great. That would fit perfect. That would
Yeah,
fit
I'm
perfect.
like that would be perfect. But yeah, I don't know, man. Like Chris Pratt, again, amazing actor.
Yeah.
I didn't see him being Mario. I don't know. I didn't expect Mario to speak. To be honest with you, I thought he was just gonna make noises. Because it works for the minions, so why not? You know what I mean? Same studio. I'm sure they could have figured it out. Like, all you need is Peach and Luigi to talk. Mario could just make noises. But now they went full out. We want a superstar and an ensemble cast for this Mario movie. So I am actually excited to see this. Like, I think this is gonna be good.
Yeah, it was a veritable who's who on there. I was like, wow, like these are people that are hot. You know what
I
I
was like,
mean?
there's no way this is the real live cast. I was like, this is a joke.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's pretty crazy. So I'm looking forward to it. I did not know what they're going to do with the franchise, and frankly, I didn't care in that regard. Like, as long as you keep making good Mario games, I didn't care. But apparently, they're trying to get to I don't even know. Like, it's already a billion dollar IP. I don't know where they plan on taking it, but it can only get better from here. Like, if that jumps off and it hits theaters and COVID's not a factor and what have you, like that's going to make potentially Marvel type money off of the IP and the cast alone. So good for
But
Nintendo.
but the target audience would be us, right? Like, so I don't know if the younger generation is really into Mario like that, right? Like, so it'll be one of those things where you're gonna see a lot of people our age like
Yeah,
lining up around the block, to watch Super Mario. You know what I mean?
maybe they're trying to rebrand them. Maybe they are trying to get like not just like I don't know, man. Kids still play Mario. It's not like us though. Like Mario was like Band-Aids, right? It was a name brand. Um,
Yeah, but
but
they had in our
they
day.
still
Remember,
drop bangers though. Like they're still making money.
well, remember in our day though, they also had the cereal. There was stuff outside of just the video games
It's
that,
true.
that they,
Yeah.
they marketed to us to where we saw it a lot more. So like the kids nowadays, it's Mario Kart at that point, right? Like that's kind of
Yeah.
all they know, like the different Mario Karts. But again, I don't know. I don't know. I think I would see more people our age or my age. I'm older than Ryan. Everybody, I'm sad. I don't,
Not by like 2 years or something like
yeah,
that, right?
yeah, yeah. But like I think it would be our age group there more so than anybody else. But
Yeah,
again,
but are you going to take your kids?
I don't know. I don't know if they
If
I don't
it
know if they'd
minus
want
the
to do it.
COVID situation, like
Yeah,
let's
yeah,
say
yeah.
and yeah, minus the COVID situation.
I don't know if they'd be interested if I'm being honest. You know what I mean? Like even my wife, like with us being the same age, around the same age, I don't even think she'd be interested because she wasn't a big video gamer either, if at all, to be
But
honest with you.
but what if it's voiced by Chris Pratt now?
Maybe. I gotta tell her who all these people are anyway. I'd be like, yeah, Jurassic World guy. She'd be like, oh, I
Yeah.
like Jurassic World. I'd be like, okay, well, him. You know what I mean?
That's her playing it off. Like, oh, Jurassic Park guy. No, she knows who Chris Pratt
Yeah, yeah.
is.
The one that got in shape, did all that work, Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I know of him, but woman.
But yeah, I think it's pretty cool. So I had to put that in the chat because I was pretty surprised. I was like, look at that. Kevin Hart, look at this. Would you look at this? Look at this.
Look at this. There is Chris Pratt playing a Mario.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, man. So I don't know what next week holds. What great movie greatness I will find. Oh, last thing, Injustice, the DC joint with
Oh
Superman. I
yeah,
sent you the Red Band trailer.
that band trailer.
Uh, oh, it's gonna be so good. Like I played the
What?
games a little bit.
Mhm.
So I don't know if like I am unsure if the Injustice saga was pioneered by WB and I forget what the Mortal Kombat team is, Midway. I'm not sure if they created that story to contain only in the game or if it actually comes from the comics. I don't know. I'm not that big in the DC lore.
I'm trying to remember when you play the game, the design company comes up, but I can't remember it. I haven't played because I got both the Injustice games. Like I
Yeah.
like the
I
series.
think they're still called Midway because Midway made Mortal Kombat. I think they're still no, they're called Outer Worlds or something like that. That's they did rebrand themselves. They are
Is it
different now.
World or I want to say something Realm?
Outer Realm, something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, that's
Uh,
the Mortal Kombat team.
okay.
Yeah. So whomever they are, the Mortal Kombat team, right? And I really like the Injustice games. Like they did, I think they did a phenomenal job making those. But I thought that that was their own storyline, and maybe this is going to be, DC animation doing their take on it. If Superman started being the Superman I want to see,
Yeah.
um, or if
Nether
it or, hmm?
Nether Realm.
Nether Realms,
Nether
there you go.
Realm. Yeah.
Or if that's just a DC story I was unfamiliar with, and they adapted it to be a fighting game. I don't know.
Yeah. So the history of Nether Realm was it was Midway Games filed for Chapter 11.
Yeah.
So whenever you do that, you got to change your name up. Is what ends up happening. So
Yeah,
yeah,
they dropped a few bad Mortal Kombat's in one period.
they did the ninth installment of the Mortal Kombat series. So you said that was a bad one, April 2011.
It was that. It was they did some side stories, like they took Mortal Kombat mechanics and tried to make a 2D platformer out of it. I actually liked it. It was trash though. Like I'm not gonna lie, but nostalgia paints things differently. Like mechanically, it was not sound, but it was. They took my Mortal Kombat characters. They did something new with them, so I gave them a pass on it. Because it was like Sub-Zero story, and they had like a Liu Kang one, like
Hmm.
control wise trash. And then yeah, they made a couple bad Mortal Kombat's. Like they tried to go to 3D, and it just wasn't quite working. And then they started to go under. But Mortal Kombat being what Mortal Kombat is, you just have to make a good game, and it'll come back. And it has in like tenfold. Like they're making like excellent Mortal Kombat games that I cannot play because I suck at fighting games now. So I watch videos of other people playing it, and it's pretty impressive. Um, and I know they're dropping, or they did drop a new Mortal Kombat movie, which
I haven't seen it. I know you watched it, right? You and LeVon
it
watched
starts
it.
out so strong. It starts out so promising.
Yeah.
They got Scorpion in his village, and they got a team coming in, and they're just murdering people. Like it's very gory. And then when it starts, like every Mortal Kombat, when it starts to talk about real world stuff, it just falls apart. I don't care about that. Let's get to this tournament. Tournament should not be the backstory. Tournament should be the side A story.
You sound like me right now. You sound like me when it comes to movies right now.
Oh man, like they're driving an SUV through the streets and Sub-Zero's dropping ice on them. It sounds cool. I didn't like it. But if they go back, so like it made money, so they're gonna make another one. But if they tell the story of the rivalry between Sub-Zero and Scorpion that they allude to at the very beginning and end of the movie, that's the book ended with those two things. If they do that in a movie, I think it'll be amazing.
All right.
Yeah, I think that's what they're missing. Because even the protagonist in the movie, they had to make up. He wasn't the actual like they had the characters around him. Like they had Liu Kang, they had Kung Lao, they had
Raiden was in it.
Katana, Raiden. They had everybody, but then they made up a guy. Um, I was just like, why? Why would you do that? Like you have at least a stable of 50, 60 characters to choose from. You just made a generic protagonist. Um, for this billion dollar or multi-million dollar, probably $1 billion IP. Um, so I only like the beginning, I like the end. The middle was trash. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I still haven't seen it. It's not actually that one was on. Was that on HBO Max? Is that one of the ones that got
Yeah,
released on HBO
that was
Max?
like one of the first ones they dropped. Was
Yeah.
it, or was it the second one? I think something came out before then.
Was it the Snyder cut? Came out before
Yeah,
that?
the Snyder cut came out, and then Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, because you
I'm
had
telling you.
Godzilla. Yeah, they had a run there where they were just dropping stuff. The Godzilla
Yeah.
versus Kong. Yeah.
Yep. And then they dropped that one. And because it was Friday at work at lunch. I brought my laptop in so I could stream it. We hooked it up to the TV, bought some pizza. We were like crashed out, and man, we went back to work after the very beginning of the movie. It's like, all right, y'all, well, go answer this email.
Wow.
And then the end of the movie, it picked back up. It was like, okay, yeah. And then went off, and I was like, well, okay, that was a
Wow.
thing. That was a thing. But again, if they can focus on that story, I think that'd be pretty cool. Explain how they got there, why they're rivals, and what have you. Um, but yeah, uh, that pretty much wraps up this week. But talking about HBO Max, though, I am excited about Dune and The Matrix 4, and they got a lot of hits still coming out over the next few months.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes. I think I will actually go see both those in theater as well, though. Even though I have access, you know what I mean? Like my theater is more isolated, so I don't have to really worry about too much of the COVIDs and what have you. So I might actually give them their due and watch them in theater. But if I was back in the States, I just laptop to the TV.
Yeah.
Watch the, or I guess I wouldn't have to. I have to do that here, but my TVs there are smarter,
I
right?
was like,
These,
yeah, smart TVs at
yeah,
home, right?
yeah,
Yeah, like
yeah. These
they don't
these
have
TVs are
those
not
apps.
smart.
Yeah, they don't have apps in your TV, man. Okay.
These TVs don't have apps.
Yeah. Yeah.
But okay. I think that pretty much wraps this week. Again, we're out here doing the duo. Next week we'll be back with LeVon to squad up. Again, tune in on Mondays and Tuesdays where we go over our topics. Wednesdays when we have a discussion. I'm going to try to have more guest hosts on those as well. It's just timing, right? So we'll keep trying to make it happen. And then obviously on Friday we talk about everything else. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Hit up the website, www.theothersideofthefirewall.com. We get to all our social media stuff. You can hit me up personally. I am at RyRy Security Guy. That's RYRY Security Guy. I am on Clubhouse, LinkedIn, Twitter, and TikTok. And LeVon is on Twitter at LeVon Maynard. So stay safe, stay secure.